It's the second morning here in Colorado, and it's a frosty one. There's frost on the ground. I dare say it's colder than yesterday, but I do got my mittens out. I do wish I would have resupplied the hot hands or brought one of the electric rechargeable hand warmers. It's a little colder than the forecast was calling for here, that's for sure. But we've got about 30 minutes until legal time, and the sky is already turning, and that joker is about 500 yards away. So we're gonna get moving, and hopefully he comes to us. He's kind of in a spot where I think he wants to come this way, so I'm going to be on this side of him, and I think he's going to want to come this way because it's kind of like an arm of the creek goes up in there, and so there's not really any creek bottom. There is, but there isn't. It's not major. It goes that way. So I think he's going to want to come this way regardless, so I'm going to try to encourage him to come this way. I'd love to see this guy just come run in, stop, and pop a strut at 35 yards, and we make a good shot and wrap this up. Either way, I'm going home tomorrow. Daughter graduates college. My mom's coming in for that, so we're gonna go in, take a little break, and then we'll see where we go from there. I just walked under a hen. She's actually soaring toward that guy. Daggone it. Literally walked right under her. I don't think that bird I bumped into his direction is going to cause me a problem, but the 16 birds I can see might cause a problem. Holy crap, that's a lot of turkeys. So let's have a look up here. We've got about 8 birds in this spot. There's a strutter, and over off to the right we've got another group of birds. We got 2 strutters and gobblers on the limb. Almost all of them have pitched down, except I've got a hen and a strutter still on the limb. They went the opposite direction, so I'm trying to get this guy. Trying to get the guy that's still up there to pitch this way. Man, there's turkeys everywhere. Just saw one sail across from some unknown location. There's multiple gobblers over there. I don't know if we got some jakes in there too. I got no idea what I should be doing right now. Got turkeys everywhere. I can hear them kind of gobbling on the other side of this one ridge. So I make a move over here, then they start to come up over that ridge that's opposite of me. And as the hens continue to come up, you'll start to see a fan appear. The hens are feeding and enjoying the sunrise. That strutter is enjoying the sunrise, and there's actually 2 strutters up there, but I don't think I got footage of the second one. That could be him on the left. I'm 135 yards from these guys on the opposite ridge. There's 2 strutters. 2 strutters gobbling. Question is, where are the hens that they were following? The hens came down the hill, so they're somewhere right over here. I'm sure where they go, those 2 guys go. So I'm trying to keep an eye on them. So I start to crawl up into these yuccas so I can try to get to the crest of my hill and peek down into that little valley and find those hens. When about right here, I look up and I see a red head. They are already on top of me. He's at about 15 yards max. Fortunately, it was one of those situations where I see him first and I'm frozen by the time he turns to take a look. So he just sees something that's just a little bit odd. He stares at me for a little while and then continues to walk on. Meanwhile, that second strutter is over there and he is going at it, and I can hear him spitting and drumming. He sounds like a distant freight train. And when that redhead moves off, I make a play for my gun and my cameras. I'm going to let this run in real time so you can see what kind of a pickle I got myself into and how quickly they got up into my area. So I can see 1 hen. I can see 2 hens. The strutter I can hear is behind this bush. There's a second redhead longbeard somewhere in the mix. More hens, more turkeys. And here comes that strutter. I can't find his head. Here's what the gun cam is seeing, and here's what my head cam is seeing, and so my eyeballs are somewhere in the middle, and I cannot for the life of me find a target to shoot at on him. Not to mention I'm looking through the bush. The sun is not at my advantage right here either. And eventually these hens, they start getting a little spooky and they start talking to me, so I start talking back. Strutter's still doing his thing though. He's coming back up, trying to give me another opportunity. That hen right there, she's at about 12 yards. I slide up a little so I can get a little higher on the hill, so I'm hoping they're going to just kind of poke out from the right side of this bush now. But what they did was they actually went straight away from me. So I decided I was going to leave that flock alone for the rest of the day and come back that evening and see if they roost in the same spot. So obviously those hens busted me and I could not get a shot at that guy through the brush. I could not find his head. I kind of knew where it was, but I also knew at that close I needed to have a distinct target to aim at. And so eventually I made my way back to the car, dropped off my layers, and I was going to drive down to this other parking lot and just kind of look out in this creek bottom as I go. And as soon as I come up over the first hill, Strutter right by the road. So he ran off kind of in this other parking lot direction. So what I'm going to do is I'm heading back toward him and I'm going to try to see if he's still interested. We got a little bit of ground to cover, so that should give him a little time to chill out a moment. And then we're going to try to start striking them up. I get as close as I feel I can get given the open terrain, and then I start to call. Eventually he gobbles back to me. I see him with a couple hens. And after about an hour, the hens eventually came by. I did not call them, but you see them there on the right side of the screen. I didn't call them in, they were just coming in this direction. I know the longbeard's in tow, and I'm hoping he's going to come in on this side of that junk that's down there. But he's on the other side. And he's out of range. He's at about 75 yards right there. I tried working with those guys too, but the closest I could get was about 70 yards I actually got that day, but I could not close that last 25 or so I needed. Just one more go. So we're gonna do, oh man, these flies are already on. We're doing some honey and peanut butter. Then we'll throw away the bread. This is it. Charging up over here, gun's empty. See. We got a little bit of water with us, we got a little bit of snacks with us, but if we're not on something and productive, then we're going home. The minute we lose birds and can't get back on them, I'm heading out of here. It's time to go home for a while. So what's today, May 2nd? It's time to go home for a while. I think I left home on the 10th of March. something like that. Yeah, it's time to go home. I'm walking toward where I was the first thing this morning. I'm not going close at all, but I already hear gobbles back here. And I see the birds going up to roost. There's a strutter up there in just full glory. I can definitely hear 2 gobblers. They're over there, not terribly far. And I'm trying to figure out. Okay, I see a strutter on the left tree. Yeah, the strutter's on the left tree on the far left. I'm trying to figure out where to be if they follow the same movement as yesterday. The best thing I've come up with is just to be in one of these little spots where the cattle made a little cut and be amongst this brush. And hopefully with the sun at my back, I'm camouflaged. I'll be laying down in here. And to make a long story less long, when they came down, they milled around a little bit on that opposite ridge and then went the other way. By the time I realized they were the other way, they were off the property and gone. They were actually on the move pretty good. Well, those birds outsmarted me this morning, so that's a wrap on this first leg of turkey tripping for 2023. Normally 2.5 days is enough time to get a Rio down, I feel like, but not this time. But I got them figured out. They're in trouble next go around. I'm going to be back. I'll be back. This will be my first stop on the last leg of this season. But we're going to go ahead and sign off. I'm heading home for a while. I am tired, real tired. So hope you like this video and this series. If you do, give us a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and as always, thanks for watching.